Man, hell yeah. We're back. Episode number 9. Nope, I don't own the rights to that music. But Jane's Addiction, the band I'm going to cover today, does. Sorry I didn't get this episode out to you on Tuesday. It's 4th of July. Please forgive me. Sorry about that. I was on a little staycation all through yesterday until this morning. I had to go to work this morning. I'm home from work, had a little dinner. I'm done with that. Time to rock and roll. So welcome back, episode number 9 of hashtag We Still Got More Rockin' to Do, bitch. Real quick theme song. We still got more rockin' to do, bitch. Whew, that felt good. All right, anyway. I got 4 new members of my Funko Pop family, so I wanted to introduce them. That's why the others aren't up here. They got enough airtime for right now. I wanted to introduce the new ones. I got 2 different Eddies from Iron Maiden. Original Eddie and Knights of the Dead Eddie. So, hell yeah. Go Iron Maiden, go. And then I got a couple bass players up here. We got Lemmy from Motorhead. Hell yeah. Mr. Ace of Spades himself. And then I got Mr. John Deacon from the band Queen. Bass player from Queen. So I got 2 out of 4 of the members of Queen. Maybe I'll have the other ones next week. I don't know. I know when I first started the show, I said I wasn't going to go Funko Pop crazy, but just shit happened. I don't know what the fuck. Shit went crazy with the Funko Pop. Sorry. But anyway, let's get into the review. It's kind of a big review. 3 bands. And like I said, the headlining band was, of course, Jane's Addiction that night. Even got the first, this is actually the EP cover, which was their first release. It was considered an EP. This is what the cover looks like. I know I've worn this shirt with the different review. I can't remember which review. I like the shirt. And what's really crazy about this is if you had asked me 3 years ago about Jane's Addiction, I fucking hated these guys. But I listened to them a little bit more. Had a chance to go to a live show, jumped on it immediately. And I was already liking them before the live show, of course. And I'm not going to go to a band I don't like. But after I went and seen the live show, unbelievable, phenomenal. I love these guys now. Hopefully they come back next year. You know my ass is going to be there. So they were at the Cosmopolitan. It's not a huge venue, about 3,000 people. And I'm pretty sure they had that every bit as full. I was on the floor. The floor was jam-packed. I was like 5 to 6 rows of people deep, depending on how you figure it, with all the people moving and stuff around on the floor. So I was pretty close to the stage. Perry Farrell was like, I'd say 10 to 12 feet from me, maybe 15 feet at the most. This show happened on March 12th of this year. So I know it's, Eddie's down. I knew he didn't stand very well. I even tried to put a stand underneath him, but he didn't have a hole in his foot for the stand. Or actually he does, but they made him shitty as far as his ability to stand. So anyway, moving on. So like I said, I was there, 3,000 people, Cosmopolitan, Jane's Addiction was headlining, but we had a couple opening bands. First one's called Damnage. Never heard of them. I'm not going to go over a set list by these guys. Not saying that they weren't any good, because they were really good. They had really high energy as a 3-man band. Kind of Rage Against the Machine-ish. So if you kind of like Rage Against the Machine, that was kind of along that kind of line. But they only used 3 dudes. And like I said, I thought they jammed. I didn't know anything about them before. I know a little about them now. But like I said, I'm not going to go over the set list. It wasn't like they did a bunch of covers. So these songs would probably sound familiar to you. They didn't sound familiar to me. But the band is called Damnage. Not Damage, but Damnage. And like I said, they were a good band. I liked the energy. They sounded pretty good. Good way to start the show. Second band was a 3-lady all-female band that was founded out of Los Angeles since 2011. They were called LA Witch. I guess they've been around for a little bit longer, of course, but I guess they actually have like a small following and kind of are picking up momentum in the rock scene, which is cool. They really jammed. I love a good band, no matter who is in it. If it's a bunch of ladies that can rock and jam, hey, great. That is cool with me. Like I said, they came out, didn't do any cover songs. They pretty much did all the original songs. So once again, I'm not going to go over like a lengthy set list from a band that I was just kind of learning about, unless I'm familiar with some of the songs. Like I said, I wasn't familiar with any of the songs, but they did sound good to me on stage. 3 ladies, and they jammed. I guess total in the band, they've only had 4 ladies total over the last 11 to 12 years that they've been around. So that's pretty good that they've had like a good core of the same ladies and then kept at it. And I think that's how bands get really good also, is keeping the same members and building together, not always changing members in and out. So then that brings me to Jane's Addiction. Like I said, it took me a long time to love these guys. And I finally can say I do love Jane's Addiction now. It's awesome, awesome show. I cannot wait till they come back again. I will be one of the first in line, or online, I should say, to buy my tickets, because, of course, we don't have to stand at the box office anymore if we don't want to. You can just do it online when they release the tickets, and I will definitely do so. Perry Farrell is the lead vocals. They did bring back the original bassist. He rejoined the band in 2022 as Eric Avery. Big guy. Really big guy. And he was the original bassist up until 2010, left the band. Had some issues between him and Perry. Not going to get into those issues, real personal between those two. Not going to fuel that fire. We're just going to go on. Eric Avery, like I said, really big guy. And just plays the hell out of that bass and did a phenomenal job. They also had the original drummer and also the drummer that left Jane's whenever Jane's kind of split up there in the 90s to go, and Perry Farrell went and did Porno for Pyros. Stephen Perkins was the drummer for Jane's Addiction and for Porno for Pyros, and actually the only guy in Jane's Addiction that didn't get all whacked out on drugs. He was like the straight edge guy in the band. He just wanted to play his drums and make music. So he was back. Now, they didn't have Dave Navarro for this show, unfortunately. He still has COVID symptoms from what it says. I'm wondering if it's more COVID mental symptoms, like he's just worried about going out in public, maybe if fear of getting sick. You know, maybe that's unfortunate too, because he's a hell of a guitarist. But the guy they did have in there, his name was Josh Klinghoffer, and he's played in bands for like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Pearl Jam, and he did a phenomenal job on the guitar that night. Like I said, I was right by the stage. He would come down to the side. I was standing more in front of Perry Farrell, but he would come down, and Eric Avery would switch spots. Him and Eric would switch, so Josh was right in front of me for a little bit here and there. I'll tell you what, the guy is a phenomenal guitarist. It was awesome to see it. It would have been cool to see Dave Navarro just because of that would have been the original lineup that started back in the late 80s. But like I said, this guy, Josh Klinghoffer, phenomenal. I don't know if they could have found anybody else besides Dave Navarro to be that perfect of a fit for the band. So that was really good to see. The band's name, Jane's Addiction. Real quick, I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but it's a lady that was roommates with Perry Farrell named Jane Bainter, and she had a heroin addiction, hence the name Jane's Addiction. That's how they got their band's name. Apparently, Jane is alive and well and not on H nowadays, living in San Francisco. Now, I don't know if that's allegedly. I don't know if that's 100% true, but from the research I did, that's what I read. That's the research I did. Like I said, if you don't think that's accurate, please do your own research. Let me know if you know something about that. I think it's kind of interesting. Let's get into the set list now. They pretty much start off the first 2 songs like they do their first album. From the Nothing Shocking album, their very first LP, Up the Breach and Ocean Size right off the bat, 1, 2, just like the first album. So I thought that was really cool. I'm really familiar with the Nothing Shocking album. Phenomenal album. Took me a long time before I started liking these guys. So it was like one of those things I kind of, maybe I didn't, I was just kind of a stupid kid. And as I grew up older, more mature about things. And like I said, it's a great album now. 3 years ago, I would have said that it's toilet paper, but now I say it's awesome. Third song was from the EP called Whores. And anybody who's ever been to a Jane's Addiction show, he likes to have the women comes out in the different outfits and the real pretty ladies. And he likes to have different things going on in his show besides the music, as far as, Perry Farrell bringing out even his own wife is one of the ladies that does the outfits and comes out and dances and stuff too. So it's kind of a family affair. The next song was I Had a Dad from the very first album. That's kind of a Jane's Addiction fan favorite. A lot of people like that song. And then they played the song from the second album called Ain't No Right. Pretty good. Then they played another EP song called 1%. And then they played a couple from the second album, Then She Did, and Obvious. And then they played one of my favorites. It's a song about Ted Bundy off the first album called Ted Just Admit It. And I like I like to know about serial killers. I don't like serial killers. I like to know about them. I find the true stuff interesting instead of just made up horror movie stuff. I like the true stuff a little better. And they made a song about Ted Bundy. Very interesting song. Even had partially the song was taken and made into a different song for the movie Natural Born Killers. So if you hear the song on the album, you watch Natural Born Killers, about halfway through that scene where Mallory Knox kind of takes advantage of that mechanic worker gas station guy, and they play that song in the background before she kills him. Anyway, the next song they played was called Chip Away. Then they play a song off their third album called Kettle Whistle. And then they play a song off the EP. It's not Chip Away, but this one's called Trip Away. So, and then they play one of the more famous songs called 3 Days off their second album and their longest studio song. Really good song. Then they go into the song Mountain Song, which was the song that I opened up here. So that's a great tune. I love it. One of my friends from back home even told me a story where she was always into climbing, doing outdoorsy stuff, climbing mountains and hills and stuff, and it went through her head. The Perry Farrell saying "coming down the mountain" as she was falling. So I mean, that's like, I don't know. I kind of like that little story about the song there. And my friend, she'll be watching this. She'll dig that. I gave her a little shout out, right, Amy? There you go. Been Caught Stealing was the last song that they finish up with the regular set. Then the encore, and they come out and play the song called Jane Says, which is about Jane Banter and her relationships with Sergio, her ex-boyfriend that used to beat her and do heroin with her. And also there's hints about heroin. It kind of tells the whole story of Jane at that time. And I used to hate that song. And a lady in the crowd was telling me about the song and kind of what it means. And just the different little hints in the song, the little ditties. And after I kind of thought about it, and then I heard it live, and I've listened to it more and more, I do kind of like that song. It's kind of grown on me. So that was pretty cool, that lady, kind of the way she explained it. And she was an older lady that has been listening to Jane since the late 80s. She's been to a lot of shows between California and here to see Jane's Addiction over the years, so she knows what she's talking about. And then the last song of the whole show and the last song of the encore was one of their famous songs, Stop. So, excuse me. I didn't mean to do that. And so that was a good way to kind of finish the show, because Perry Farrell, before he started the song, he's like, we've had a great time tonight, but, everything's got to stop. And then they just bust right into it. That the... you got to kind of know the song. So, kind of, here we go. And then, I'm going to start doing something else on these reviews, kind of towards the end. in which I'm going to kind of talk about a song, or at least mention a song that I wish they would have played. And the song that I'm going to say I wish they would have played is called Pigs in Zen, which is the last song on the first album, the Nothing Shocking album. And it's a really great tune. I was hoping they'd play it just because, but I'm not upset that they didn't play it. I'm not going to cry about it. I'm just saying it would have been cool. But they did have a great set list. It was awesome. And it's not like they even have a whole lot of albums. They only had 4 LPs total, and one of the LPs only has like 4 new tunes on it. So I don't even know why they even called that an LP, but whatever. It's not, it's not my call. I'm just the rock doctor. So with that being said, I'm going to go and sign off. And like I said, I hope everybody had a good 4th of July. I hope nobody had any explosive accidents, blowing up hands or nothing like that, or neighbors' houses. Hopefully everybody had a good time, seen some fireworks, maybe had some food, maybe a Frank or two, if you're into that stuff. And then, like I said, it's time to keep rocking. Got some shows coming up here. I believe I got events the 12th, the 13th, the 15th, and the 16th. But 2 of them are going to be comedy. So that's why I don't want to start naming off stuff and be wrong about what I got coming up. I got all kinds of events and concerts coming up. And then I got real life stuff kicking my ass at the same time. So I'm going to keep on doing my thing. I'm going to keep rocking over here. I'm going to keep rocking. I'm sorry this episode didn't come out 2 days ago on Tuesday. Between 4th of July and a little staycation, I'm sure you all understand. But I didn't want to let everybody down, not at least put something out this week. I will be back next Tuesday, definitely, to do the episode. Like I said, it's not 4th of July every week, so we had to take a day off. But I made up for it, I hope. And I'm going to sign off here. I love y'all. Keep spreading the word of rock and roll. My audience is, we got a good little pack, but I know there's others out there that are looking for a platform like this just to be able to come in and hang out with us for a little bit, kind of get a little info, and maybe get a little info on some shows that may be coming to their area. So I'm going to go ahead and take off, man. You guys be good, be safe, love each other, and make sure, like I said, whether you're having a rough time in life or you're getting ready to go to a concert, remember, we all still got more rocking to do, bitch. I'll see y'all next Tuesday. Bye-bye for now.